And I'm Will Carr, and I'm Director of Research and Strategy.
Alrighty, so our two main goals going into this campaign were to raise awareness about the experience of BamaFest, keeping in mind we might have a slightly negative association with this type of festival in Enterprise, Alabama due to Bama Jams. Separately, we would like to brand the ranch through a promotion of BamaFest.
So when we got started, we wanted to focus on college students and military age members from 18 to 25. We want them to look forward to the festival every year. We want them to be excited about the experience. We want something that they mark their calendar as soon as they leave and they say, I'm ready for BamaFest next year. And in addition, we want them to obviously buy tickets. That's the way we can keep our festival going and make sure that we have a solid fan base. And as Cindy mentioned, we also kind of maybe have a negative perception due to Bama Jam or no awareness at all. So we have to create this buzz from the get-go. We have to create kind of a grassroots movement to just generate as much buzz as possible, get people talking about it, word of mouth, t-shirts, everything, just to get BamaFest's name out there. And we also want to know that people can spend their money anywhere. We want them to know that when they buy tickets to BamaFest, it's going to be an experience that is unlike any other.
So some of our main findings in research, which you have an infographic that will break it down a little bit more for you, were that people are definitely willing to travel and pay for this type of festival in Alabama. They want to stay in hotels, although there was a lot of interest in camping. People were willing to pay an extra fee for a camping pass. Lineup is what's going to get them there. Everybody said that that's their number one thing about festivals, is they want to see who the artists are. Another thing that we found was when we talked about family friendly, our target audience had a negative connotation with the term family friendly. But when we got further into that conversation with them, we found out that they had actually never been to a festival that wasn't family friendly. They had just never been to one that was advertised as being family friendly. And the last thing was when we were showing people the logo, they found it to be kind of unappealing. They didn't think that it really showcased what this event was going to be about, and that it wasn't really appealing to them or eye-catching. So keeping all this in mind, the negative perception included, this is what we've come up with. Experience the Fest at BamaFest 2016. Now, obviously, the logo is very different, and we're all about trying to make this all about the experience. Since we have so long until this actual event, we think the campaign should occur in phases.
Like Cindy mentioned, we want this campaign to occur in phases, and the first phase is to get a functional website going. This is going to be the main focus of our campaign, is to be driving just as much traffic as possible to this website. And this would be the BamaFest website. We advise that the ranch have a separate website to promote all the events that happen at the ranch, in addition to BamaFest. Obviously, there would be a link to the ranch website on BamaFest website, and there would be a BamaFest link on the ranch. The way this would work is we have the GPS coordinates for Enterprise up at the top, just kind of a fun way to tease where it's going to be without coming out and saying it's going to be an Enterprise, just kind of a teaser way to get people excited, talk about something big is coming. And then our promotion called #BuildYourExperience. This is a way to get people to the website. This is where you would be able to go to the website, fill out your dream lineup. It serves a few different purposes. People would obviously have to go to the website to get traffic there, and we would also be able to see who people want to see, in addition to people feeling like they were involved in planning the festival. Kind of have a ball in the court in a way.
So we're thinking that this portion of the campaign would be a late summer sort of thing. And with the establishment of the website, we'd also like to establish a social media presence, because we know that that is going to be the main way to reach our target audience. You can see some mock tweets that we have showcasing the Build Your Experience and Experience the Fest. And all of this is in an effort to drive traffic back to the website. We will be tweeting about the website and how to get there so that they can participate in the Building Your Experience.
And this would all lead to building presence on college campuses. There was mention of Alabama University, Auburn, and Troy. And those would be the three main focuses, but there's also other universities that we would visit to try to drum up as much support as possible, in addition to the local military bases. The way this would work is we would have the BamaFest truck. There would be 3 members of a team that work on the truck. They would take it places, to the location, set up, tear down, know the ins and outs, just to make sure everyone has a good experience. In addition to that, we'd have brand ambassadors, and this would work with 3 people or so on each campus when we talk about the University of Alabama, Auburn, and Troy. These ambassadors would help when the truck is on location or in surrounding locations, and it would also be important for them to continue the campaign when the truck's not there. It would be a way of keeping the campaign in people's mouths just to create that buzz. And the way the truck would work is we would park it, and then we would hopefully partner with a local restaurant or something like that to get free food out there, or a coupon or something to get people to the truck. in addition to BamaFest gear and the ranch merchandise, just so that everyone knows everything about the experience, and just those kind of giveaways to get people going.
So once you get them to the truck, we want to start a follow for follow campaign, which is basically I am following, if they start following us on Instagram, liking us on Facebook or on Twitter, we follow them back. It's a way to track them and for them to keep track of us. And the Instagram is where we want to launch, is when we want to launch with the truck. Okay, because we want people out of the truck taking selfies, taking pictures, getting involved, and we want them to see that this is the face of our campaign, this is a visual for them to look at, and this is something for them to be excited about when it comes to campus. Because when the truck comes to campus, that means t-shirts are coming to campus, that means it's a good time all around, and it's getting the excitement up for BamaFest.
In addition to the kind of interactive marketing, we would have a strong radio presence. With the partnership of 98.9 Bama Country, we'd be able to use that in a few different ways. One would just be a classic radio spot to promote the experience of the festival, possible partnerships with a nearby hotel or other local businesses if they want to get involved too, just as much support as possible. We would also be doing live broadcasts. This would be a way for the DJs of the station to come out, set up a tent or a table, either with the truck or at a separate location, just another event people could attend. And this would be important because they could set up their stereo equipment, play the music, play country music, get an environment going, and they would also be able to talk at the breaks and mention how the fact that BamaFest is a new, exciting experience that anyone could get involved in, and kind of separating it from Bama Jam. This would be very important because it would have that new factor. And then they would also be talking about coming down and getting your merchandise for the ranch and for BamaFest and everything else, just so that everyone feels involved and just getting as much support as possible.
So another way we want to generate buzz is through putting on smaller concerts throughout the year, leading to the announcement of the lineup, and to the announcement of the date that the tickets will become available. We would ideally like to have some of the artists that are going to be on the lineup helping us with this, pairing with them, so that when people are at their events, they're also caring about and seeing merchandise for BamaFest and the ranch. I think a cool incentive would be to have people who attend and keep your ticket stub, you can bring it to BamaFest with you and turn it in for a free beer, for a koozie, or maybe a discounted t-shirt. But keeping the artists involved, really I think would help us create a relationship with them so that they can continue to promote us leading up to BamaFest.
And with advertising, in addition to all the guerrilla advertising and the interactive marketing, we'd have more classic ways. Sponsored ads on Facebook or Twitter promotions through promoted tweets. And this is effective because you can target certain audiences with this. You can make sure that the message you want people to receive is being received by the people you want to. And we also would talk about purchasing Google AdWords. This is a technique where if somebody types in a certain word, BamaFest pops up. We want them to make sure that we're always on the people's minds. And also we have the classic flyers that you could leave at local restaurants or local businesses, on campus, hand out on the street. Just once again to generate as much buzz as possible to get people to talk about BamaFest, in addition to those radio ads we already mentioned.
So we do feel really excited about this campaign. We do really feel that this will lead people to be excited about the experience at BamaFest and also get them excited about this new venue being the ranch in Alabama.
My turn?
Any questions? Your turn.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Your turn,
Actually,
sorry.
I love it. Whoever did the logo, that's incredible.
That's short behind you.
I know, I love it. I'm glad to hear you love it.
Yes, that's. We struggled with the logo a little bit. One of the things, one concern that came up when you talk about people planning on the website, is there any concern with you didn't pick my band, so I'm not coming? Was that a concern? Was it thought about? You don't think it's a big concern?
I mean, I don't think it's a big concern. I think everyone's going to understand that obviously their lineup specifically is not going to be picked perfectly. So hopefully, when we look through the consensus of everybody, we can pick artists that were showing up the most, or kind of just keeping most, if not everyone, mostly everyone happy when it comes to picking the lineup. And we think it's just a fun way of everyone kind of getting involved.
Okay, got you. I see you elected for no television ads. What's the thought there?
When we were doing our research, just our surveys, we just found that television and newspaper people were not interested in it. I mean, they don't watch TV, they watch Netflix. And they just didn't really seem to think that if you were putting it on TV, it would be a little bit of a wasted effort and wasted dollars because it wouldn't get to them.
On a side, like if people do watch TV, sorry, I'm like back
No,
here.
you're fine.
If people do watch TV, they're usually DVRing it, and so they're gonna fast forward through most of the commercials as well.
When she said that, I thought about that.
Yeah.
Great thing,
Yes.
that's how I watch TV.
Yes.
Okay.
But you might consider some targeted Hulu spots or something like that to where, you know, because that does kind of fit the target audience, but it would have an opportunity to get the video kind of, you know, sight, sound, motion, and emotion that you get from TV, but and it's going to be a lot more cost effective because you're only going to pay, you know, per click essentially.
The small concerts, I like the idea. I would just tell you that the risk of losing between $70,000 to $100,000 per concert makes it extremely cost prohibitive. I think, which is kind of funny because based on what you said, your thought was to build up the anticipation. I think that has merit to maintain that steam and that stamina. We found from just looking at all the numbers, to bring in an artist that's going to cost $200,000 to $300,000, the risk of losing money was exponential. When you bring in an artist where you're paying 1.2, 1.3 million, and when I say A, it's actually multiple. Ironically, the more money you're willing to spend on the artist, your fudge factor it just exponentially increases. So I'd like to stay away from the small concerts as a initial concept. I think it's a great follow-on. We've talked about doing it depending on the demographics supporting it, but that I like being able to continue it. But as a front-end lead-in, it's very cost prohibitive, unfortunately. When you talk about the research, I'm sorry. When you talked about your research findings, what was your general demographics here at